Thank
Cool.
you so much, Sean, for being with us today. Can you tell everybody your full name and how do you help your clients?
Yeah, my name is Sean Weisbrot, and I currently don't have any clients, but because I'm building a tech company, so my clients will be the purchasers of that software. So we could take this conversation in many routes. Obviously, we don't have the time for that. But in the past, I was a consultant in the blockchain space. So I was working with companies across the world. Most of them were Chinese companies who couldn't speak English, which was my forte as a Mandarin speaker. And I was helping them in the areas of the economics of the blockchains that they were developing, the specific technologies that would go into how their blockchains worked in order to make sure that they were either deflationary systems or I could spend a lot of time talking about terms that probably most people won't understand. So basically, I was helping them with the economics, the technology, the networking, the fundraising. I helped them in a lot of different ways. So that was the last business I did before I started the tech company.
Excellent. No, I've just been getting into Bitcoin and learning about blockchain, so that's very interesting. Tell me a little bit about your podcast. It's called We Live to Build.
Yeah, so that was actually born out of my tech company because my team wanted me to be more social. I'm not a social media kind of person, especially having been in Asia where I didn't have this need to connect with people on Twitter or things like that. Because what I was doing was more local, and Twitter and all these other platforms are banned in China. And so since I spent the last 10 years in China, I didn't have access to those tools and I had no need to connect to those tools. But now that I'm outside of China and those tools are available and the audience I search and help are global, there is this need. So my team wanted me to be kind of more visible. And I decided that the best way to be visible instead of like tweeting nonsense was to start a podcast. And the thing that I'm most passionate about is psychology. And the thing that I spend my time doing is really being an entrepreneur. So I felt like a podcast that centers around the intersection of entrepreneurship and psychology was something that probably most people aren't touching upon and could be very valuable as its own niche.
Excellent. Now, in your Clubhouse bio, it said you are the CEO of Nerve. What exactly is that?
Yeah, so first of all, that's Nerve without an E. And some people who are anime fans would know that to be the fictional company behind Evangelion, the anime, which, funny enough, we didn't really know that when we came up with the name. So it was a coincidence in that regard. But the company is working on a platform that helps teams to communicate internally. You may know a company called Slack, which does this, but we felt that they didn't really understand how companies need to work as the future comes to a more visible light. And so their rigid UI UX just doesn't meet the needs of companies these days. And so we thought we could do something better.
Awesome. So is that the tech company that you are currently building?
Yeah, I've been working on it for 3 years.
Excellent. So you said in the past you did work with clients. So how did you generate leads then, and how are you going to go about generating leads with this new company that you're building?
Yeah, so in terms of how I generated leads before, as I said, I speak Mandarin. So I tried to focus on the Chinese market because I knew that they were the ones putting the most money into the industry out of all countries in the world. And so I just happened to be in the right place at the right time with the right connections. And what I did was I had people in my network that knew people who needed my service. So I got the people that trusted me to convince the people that trusted them that I was the right guy to do the things they needed. And so so to use psychology, they transferred trust over from them to me. And then when I closed a deal and there was a commission, I would then share it with the person. And the commissions were high enough that they were extremely incentivized to keep giving me more clients.
Excellent. Now, how did you get interested in psychology, and how does that help you in your business?
I got interested in psychology in high school. My brother had taken psychology and he liked it and he wanted me to take a class, and I ended up getting approached by the advanced placement psychology teacher. We just happened to cross paths in the hallway, and I told her that I was interested in it because I think she knew my brother. And she convinced me to take her class because my brother didn't take her class. And it ended up being the only class in high school that I actually cared about. And then in college, I wanted to be a biomedical engineer, but I found very quickly that I hated the chem labs. So I decided to back out of it and went into psychology because, thinking on my high school experience, it was the only thing that I really cared about.
Gotcha. Now you are new to Clubhouse. So what are, have you been into any rooms where you have been impacted by what people have said, or what has been your experience so far on Clubhouse?
There's a lot of different kinds of people on Clubhouse. And I've been on for 2 weeks now, as of the recording of this episode, July 1st, 2021. I've seen people that are absolute shills for their company. I see people that are tremendous givers that aren't asking for anything back. I see a lot of conversations about relationships and culture and China-US relations, as well as entrepreneurship. And the entrepreneurship ones are obviously the ones that I'm interested in, mostly because I'm trying to find podcast guests. But I haven't really gone up on many stages to talk because normally when I try, I have to wait an hour to be able to speak, and I just don't have the time to sit there and wait. So I generally just don't. And that's one of the reasons why I want to start my own Clubhouse recordings for my podcast, because I think that it's a good opportunity for me to kind of have the conversation the way I want, where I'm in control of how the club goes.
Excellent. Now, can you, if you wanted to help someone like yourself who's just going onto Clubhouse, what is one thing that you are doing to be more successful, that you could give advice to someone else to help them be successful?
So I'm actually, oh, yeah, okay, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to shill somebody else's product. I've been watching some people who are successful and applying psychology to what they're doing. If you look at my bio, you'll see that I use emojis to make it clear. I have a line break between each of the items so that it's really easy for people to understand the things that I offer. My bio is not designed to make me look amazing. It's designed to just quickly tell the truth about my experience so people can see the value that I bring in order to connect with me. I'm following people that have large followings. I'm looking to connect with different moderators. I've spoken to multiple people on Instagram through DMs that have thousands of followers, and talking to them about interviewing them or having discussions with them. And that kind of gets you into a space where, if you're invited to be a moderator in a club, or if you're invited to speak, then people will hear you and they'll see your bio. And if they like you, they'll follow you. And that gives you more clout as time goes on. And so I think it's mostly about getting to know people who are known. It's really a Ponzi scheme, a non-financial Ponzi scheme, where you have to go to the people that have bidden before you, that have more followers than you, and get them to promote you without promoting you, so that people want to know you. But if you don't have anything of value to share, then nobody will care about you.
True. Yeah. That's what I like about it. You have to have something of value. You have to be willing to give. So Sean, where can people find you online if they want to learn more about you, your podcast?
Yeah, so the podcast is at welivetobuild.com. I'm also on Twitter at welivetobuild. I'm on Instagram at at S Weisbrot. That one's a bit hard for people. I'm also on LinkedIn at Sean Weisbrot. You can find me at all those places pretty easily.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time with us today, Sean. And we will see you in Clubhouse.
Yeah, I'll see you in 10 days.
Yes. Bye-bye.